So I hope you've all had a great day, because today we are finally covering a PlayStation fanboy that I haven't covered before, which is Reforge Gaming. And we'll be taking a look at two videos from him, because he decided to have two horrendous takes more than he normally does. I will never understand why people even bother to take him seriously, as he's just someone that uses a lot of big words and thinks he's smart, and then continues to argue with a lot of his people in his chat, and thinks he's winning, and tries to win, fails miserably, repeats the process every stream. And you're gonna see all of this in this video. So the first thing we're gonna be taking a look at from him is how Gears 6 is coming to PlayStation and the PS5 Pro, and it's gonna run better on the PlayStation than an Xbox or whatever random thing he wants to say. Because apparently we know how a PS5 Pro will run.
Another big question I have for Gears 6, will this be a multi-plat release? If they're just 1 year into development, I don't really see a reason to lock this to Xbox and PC. By the time it releases, multi-plat Xbox Studio games, that'll be pretty normal, I would think, but that makes for a brand new question. If the Coalition made the decision to make Gears 6 this visually intense, cinematic 30 FPS game, you know, all those PR things we're being told about Hellblade, would that fly with consumers on a PS5 or a PS5 Pro?
Yes, because most games are still running at 30 FPS on both platforms. It's not just an Xbox thing. Yes, I believe PlayStation has more 60 FPS games, but that isn't going to stop them from making it both 30 FPS, whether or not they put it on a Pro model or not. It will just run better on that Pro model. And if they try to make it 60 FPS, it'll end up like Final Fantasy 16 and only have like, a resolution of 720p? And that's also an issue with Xbox. Don't think I'm singling out PlayStation for no reason. Xbox has the exact same issue when trying to put 60 FPS. These consoles really can't do it, even though they were marketed to do it.
In 2027 or 2028. And would that be an opportunity for a game to maybe be 60 FPS on the PlayStation platform, but not on the Xbox? Like,
you know, both of these consoles roughly perform the same. If one gets 60 FPS, the other one will. It just comes down to optimization and understanding of that platform and how it works. It shouldn't be that hard for a AAA company like the Coalition to do something like that. And yes, I do believe it will go multi-plat after some time.
Maybe just the PS5 Pro, okay? Jez Corden recently claimed on a podcast that Kate Rayner, the vice president and technical director at the Coalition, she now runs her own division, and what she's doing is she's helping other Xbox studios get the Coalition level with the Unreal Engine. So they're basically like, listen, we know all this great stuff about the Unreal Engine. We're going to now develop essentially a team to help other studios do the same thing. Now, this could be part of the multi-plat strategy to ensure that Unreal games get better performance.
So you're telling me you think this is coming to another platform because it's being developed on Unreal Engine? What type of stretch is that? How do you come to that conclusion? It's a game engine, it can be used on every platform. That doesn't mean it's coming to PlayStation. That's like me saying that the RE engine must mean the games are gonna be multi-platform. No shit, they're gonna be multi-platform. That's why I'm gonna say to you this. I believe Gears 6 is a more than likely timed exclusive. It seems like that's the way that Microsoft will go, and I would prefer it go that way. That means you can play Gears of War 6, and I would presume every other Gears game on whatever platform you want. That's if the Gears collection is real. I hope it is, and maybe we will see something about it eventually, but I've been holding out that hope for the last year now. It hasn't come true so far, so maybe not. But let's get back on track. To use a game engine as an argument to say, hey look, this game is coming to my platform because it's made on Unreal Engine, how do you explain all the PC games that are on Unreal Engine that never see the light of day on any console? Or any handheld device like Nintendo Switch, and it's stuck to the Steam platform or the Steam Deck? How do you explain that with your shitty logic?
She could be going over to maybe Ninja Theory. I don't know. Let's get that performance mode for Hellblade 2 on the Series X. Now, even though John Linneman is confident that they can get 60 FPS for the console in Gears of War 6, another question hanging in the air is the 30 FPS and the 60 FPS situation a parity issue for first-party Xbox studios? Every Xbox first-party game has launched either 30 FPS on both or 60 FPS on both, and when the 60 FPS update came to Redfall, it came to both consoles. So let's say that John Linneman is correct and Gear 6 gets a great performance mode, but what if it only works on the Series X? Would Xbox allow that? What if it only works on the Series X and the PS5 and the PS5 Pro? What about the PS5 Pro? It's literally designed to give you more frames in really pretty modes like 4K modes and ray tracing.
So you're telling me you somehow know a console that we know nothing about, only just rumors from random idiots on the internet? You somehow know how it's going to perform, and it will come to that platform. That seems like major cope from you wanting an Xbox game. And if you bought that Series S and now you're playing on 30 FPS, that's what you get for buying a cheaper console. That's something that you should expect for buying a cheaper console to get into that generation, or the current generation of console. That's to be expected. So I don't know why that's even a big deal or even a point that's brought up. That should be something that should be very obvious.
Would they let an Xbox first-party game tap into the greater power of the PS5 Pro? Will this push into, if they're pushing into more of a publishing role, I'm curious how Xbox handles these types of decisions going forward. They let Sea of Thieves get exclusive cosmetics for the PS5. They let Hi-Fi Rush get exclusive features with the DualSense controller. I would lean toward them allowing a developer like the Coalition to tap into as much power and as many features as possible. And that feature parity and performance parity will soon be a forgotten memory. Now, my last question about Gear 6 is this. Will it be live service? As in, will they leverage PvP, online, multiplayer, or any other ongoing content model?
I think this is a genuinely interesting question, but you can kinda shut it down relatively quick when looking at Gears 5. Gears 5 was a live service game for the most part, but which one they will actually pick, it's kinda interesting to think about. Will they go the same route of battle passes, or do something else? Because they did for Gears 5, I'm kinda curious, because they both did that store shop and a battle pass, and I think they did something else, but I'm not too sure. Oh yeah, that's right, they did a story expansion. But you could also take a look at the rumors of Gears 6, how apparently it's going to be completely open world or something like that. You know, what a terrible decision, going away from linear that made the game actually fun to somehow open world will fix the issues of Gears 5. Clearly doubling down on a bad decision will clearly help you.
The success of Helldivers 2, I can't help but look at Gears and think, alright, it's your turn now. They're the ones that gave us Horde mode, which has influenced a bunch of other games. Just the term Horde mode, right? That's from Gears of War. It's time for the granddaddy of the Horde mode to bring something amazing to the market. Helldivers 2 proves that shooting baddies with your buddies is winning. It's a very winning combination. It's fun. It's a very addictive model. So, what are my predictions? Well, I was going to predict 30 FPS, but John Linneman has me doubting that, alright? And I truly hope that he's right.
All I want for Gears 6 is to just be Gears of War 2, Gears of War 3, just the entire original trilogy, with all the cool features that they had, the addictive gameplay loops with the movement system of Gears 5. That is it. That is all I need, the gameplay loop of Gears 5. That is all you need to make a good modern Gears of War game, alongside a good story and a variety of game modes. That is it. That is all you need to make a good game. I don't know why you want to focus on one singular game mode, because that won't fix Gears at all. So I think that's enough of that clip of Reforge. Why don't we move on to the next one, where he talks about how he's a game tester and he argues with his chat for a bit, which is kinda funny.
Sell your Xbox? No, having the Xbox as a content creator is important because I need to be able to test games when they come out. If a game actually comes out with a performance mode, I need to be able to play it on my Series X to show, oh, maybe they are getting better. Maybe they push out an update for Hellblade 2. I don't know. I'm not going to get rid of my Series X. That doesn't solve a problem.
For someone that has a hate boner of Xbox, I don't know why you'd want to keep it, especially a platform that you always seem to talk down to.
That doesn't, as a content creator, that doesn't make any sense for me to do that. I need to be able to test Indiana Jones and Avowed and other games. Or again, Plague Tale Requiem pushed out a performance patch for them. They push out a 60 FPS patch in the future.
I just having to skip a little bit forward because there's 30 seconds of silence, so don't mind me. Just to give you a bit of context if you're wondering why.
What kind of test do you do? I turn on the game and I play it?
By that logic, everyone that plays games is technically a tester. They test the game, they're so-called testing it, going around doing things. Clearly, you meant what you said. I can't tell if you're just really stupid, or you're just special. Which one is it? What type of special are you? What type of syndrome do you have? We all know you've got the neutron style, but I don't think you're intelligent at all. You're pretty stupid to call yourself a tester. What are you testing? You're just playing the game. That's not testing. I did my own personal test for benchmarking my new PC. I wanted to see how much FPS, how much utilization I was getting. That's testing. Playing a game is not testing.
What? I don't do benchmarks and tech tests and frame counting or any of that. I can boot up a game and tell you how well it's running.
So guess what, Reforge? You're not a tester. You're not testing anything. You're not giving valuable information that you can actually show graphs or data to help people decide whether or not it's a good or bad purchase, purely because of its performance. You offer nothing, you're just giving us words. There's a reason why you show graphs. There's a reason why you show information. It's to make a better informed purchase for other people. And just saying, oh, the game runs okay, that doesn't give you much to work with. Maybe you've got a different system entirely. Imagine if you went out of your way to say, oh yeah, it runs fine on this Xbox, and you don't clarify which Xbox it is. You're on the Series X, and he's on the Series S, and he's not getting the same performance that you said. That's how little information you're providing to the individual. You may tell him that it's this console or this platform and this version of that platform. But that's why you show visual graphs, to give someone an idea and a much better understanding if they know how to utilize that information. I don't know why that's so hard for you to comprehend, and say that just playing your game is testing. You're not testing.
What do you mean, what kind of tests do I do? I played Redfall when it came out on my Xbox Series X. I played Starfield when it came out on my Xbox Series X, just to see if I could tolerate it. Hellblade 2 is going to be on Game Pass. I'll install it on my Series X, and I'll say, all right, let's see how this looks. And I'll be like, gross. And then I'll go play on my PC.
So why did you bother bringing it up then if you can just go play on your PC? To my knowledge, Hellblade will be day and date on PC. Just go play it on PC to get a better experience. I don't know why you need to go play it on the console. You have a better alternative right there in front of you. And it seems like you've already made up your mind on how you're going to perceive the game. Oh look, it's bad. Time to go play it on another platform, or not play it at all. I don't know why you even bothered at that point.
All that would happen if I got rid of my Series X is people would be like, how can you speak about how that game runs? You don't even have a Series X, Lono. These ravenous weirdos who hate watch and like look for any inconsistency they can find. Like, quick, get that 45-second clip so we can make it look like this guy is a fraud, right? Like a vested interest in that. That's all they would do. Is if I got rid of my Series X, Avowed would come out, and I'd be talking about its performance on Series X and be like, yeah, I'm playing on PC. And they'd be like, look at this fraud, talking about the Series X, he doesn't even have one.
Regardless of what you do, Reforge, you are going to be negative anyway. If you own the console or not, or if you play the game or not, you're still going to voice your opinion. So there's really no point trying to argue with them, because you're never going to get a desired result, because you always come off as a fanboy for another console. And if you want people to stop calling you that, there's a very easy and simple fix. Stop coming off as someone favoring another platform or giving less criticism to another platform. Of course, one platform will always do more right than the other, but this is why you do what I do. Shit talk the consoles. Because guess what, if someone calls you out and say you're this and that your favoritism towards that, you can just point and say, hey look, I shit-talked them. Would someone that's a fanboy do that? No. If that's your issue, there's an easy solution. Stop crying.
Like they're so hungry that they don't even understand when I publish a screenshot of 37 hours in Hellblade 1 with 3 clears, and the guy's like, but you've never completed it because I've missed a trophy. There's a spot in the game where if you go too far, you can't go back, and I miss the dadgum rune every time. Did King Thrash taught you how to do it too? I'm not sure what you're talking about.
There's no need to do Reforge that dirty. It was pretty funny. That caught me off guard. I didn't watch to this point until now. Also, I have to skip ahead again because he went silent again and is probably contemplating life or staring into the mirror.
Who cares what people say? Enjoy the game in its best form. Right, but as a video game commentator, as a gaming news channel, I need to be able to say, I have every platform. I played that game. I tried it out. Here was my experience.
Reforge, you can just say that you want an Xbox and you want to play Xbox games. I mean, people are going to laugh at you because, you know, it would go against everything that you've said in the past, but who cares? You get to play your Xbox games. You don't need to sit there and justify owning an Xbox.
That's important. I'm not going to do frame by frames and side by sides. I don't think that's how testing works, bro. What's amazing about this conversation is I don't care what you think testing is. I don't care. Like, I don't go and like check with you like, hey, am I allowed to use this word, right? I want to test this game when it comes out. You understand the word has a range of meaning, right? Like, anybody can test a game when it comes out. Yeah, I tested it out. It ran pretty well. Oh, thanks for telling me that.
Is this really how you act at the mildest disagreement, or someone disagrees with you and you're like, oh, yep, gotta put them on the spot and go tell them, oh, blah, 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 do this, that, and tell them how they're wrong and, oh, how this justifies that means? I mean, I can't talk much. I genuinely do trash talk the absolute shit out of my friends. Like, I mean, oh god, the things I say to them, I could not say on stream or video at all else without getting instantly banned. Like, oh my god. You know, I'm not the most nicest individual, but at least those people fight back and don't cry like a little bitch like you do, Reforge, whenever someone dare criticizes you, or you go on a fucking tirade about, oh, how this can be justified through this and that. They just sit there and fight back until one of us win. Think about it, Reforge. If you did it how I did it, people would actually enjoy watching you. It's that simple. Just be more entertaining. And you wouldn't have to beg for any money like you did on previous streams when you didn't hit your subscriber goal, or members goal, or whatever you want to call it.
Or do you gut check all your friends? Oh, you tested it? Huh? Are you Digital Foundry now? No, you don't do that. You're being persnickety and pedantic for no reason.
Reforge, we're not your friends. We're here to view your content, either criticize or watch it for our enjoyment. None of us are your friends. I don't think most of us ever bother talking to our friends and being like, yes, is this game good, and then go like, yeah, I'll take their word for it and purchase the game. You know, at least I go out of my way to research things before purchasing a game to make sure that everything runs well, the game's good, or it even interests me to start with.
I can boot up a game on my Series X, play it, and I can make an approximation of how it's running. Is there pop-in? Is there stuttering? Is there hitches? Are there crashes? How's the lighting look? How's the texture look? Is the game running smoothly, and is it running well? You want to try to, discredit me because I'm not doing like a frame-by-frame analysis frame counter like Digital Foundry. Go right ahead. My brand isn't centered around that content anyway. You're trying to...
So if your brand of content isn't about reviewing games or telling us about performance, why did you bring it up to keep your Xbox then? Seems like a really garbage argument to have in the first place. Doesn't seem to make much sense at all. It's like, hey guys, I need to keep my Xbox so I can review and tell you about performance. Oh, but my content doesn't revolve around that. Don't mind me. I just want to give you an excuse.
Check my credentials, and I'm not claiming to have any. I'm saying I boot up the game. I've been playing games for a really long time. I can tell you if it's running well. Like, for example, I've constantly given people feedback on the performance of Rise of the Ronin. Has anybody once been like, yeah, but did you get out a frame counter? Did you do a Digital Foundry comparison? Did you do a benchmark test? No, nobody did that because they know that when you play a game and you analyze its performance, you can tell if it's running well or not, or if it's hitching, or if it's frame dropping. It's not hard. It's easy to see.
It's almost like you don't understand why people are calling you out on this. It's because you're going out of your way to find a reason to justify to own your Xbox. And instead of just admitting that you want it, you're trying to say, oh, I do reviews, and you turn around and say, no, this channel isn't meant for reviews. That's why when you play Rise of the Ronin, people aren't calling you out. That's because you're not using Rise of the Ronin to justify the purchase of your PlayStation or whatever random excuses you may come up with in that instance. Can you see the problem, old man, Jimmy Neutron clone?
That's not what you said earlier. I said that I'm going to keep my Series X so I can test the games when they come out. Like, I feel like you're hungry for a clip. You're hungry for a fight. What are we even discussing? I said, just off the cuff, I wasn't being super technical. I want to keep my Series X so when these games come out, I can test them out and see how they run. And if I have to then retreat to my PC, I will. There's nothing wrong with me saying that. That's just like me playing Rise of the Ronin and saying, yeah, I'm going to test it out. I'm going to see how it's running. It looked rough in the trailers. And then I report back to you, yes, in the open world and in the towns, it's pretty stuttery. The frames aren't consistent.
But if your channel's not dedicated to this, why would you bother? You're not gonna give us a real informed opinion. You said, yeah, you've played it, you've done all that. Yeah, you can say the game is good, but I would rather take it from someone that's gonna show me actual data. But then again, you said your channel isn't dedicated to this, so I don't know why you're defending trying to do it. Like, why argue with your fanbase? Just admit you were wrong. Is it really that hard? I admit that I'm wrong. I've gotten stuff wrong in the past, and I've admitted it. I don't know why that's hard for you to do.
I've not had anybody gut check my credentials in the comments being like, Yeah, but you didn't do a benchmark and a frame analysis check, and you didn't count the frames like Digital Foundry did. Nobody's done that. Why? Because the average gamer can play a game and report back to you very generally about the performance. I've been playing and covering games for 10 years. I have experience with analyzing frame drops and frame stutters with my capture cards. Like, I'm very adept at detecting if there are frame stutters or frame drops or resolution changes. I remember the first time I played Ghost of Tsushima, the director's cut, and I played it on my brand new awesome TV, and I said, yeah, I can tell when the resolution's dropping a little bit when I'm on the horse.
Good job, Reforge. You can use your eyes. I'm very proud of you.
How you test it? That's not the explanation you said earlier. That's a good excuse to keep the Xbox, but you made it look like you just booted the game to see if you liked how it looked. Your inability to understand what I said earlier is your own fault. I'm done talking to you. Like, your inability to understand what I was saying, like, people like you don't listen in good faith. You're looking for something to pick apart. It's not fun having a conversation with people.
Shut the fuck up, fam. You got caught with your pants down. I don't care what you have to say anymore, Reforge. You suck at this. Just admit you were wrong. You put yourself in that situation and you made yourself look like an idiot, like you normally do. Who cares? Admit you were wrong and then you're done. I'll give you credit, Reforge. You're the only person to make me say things that I have to cover up on YouTube. You're a strange individual. Not even Harmon could bring out the worst in me. Well, that's kind of a lie. I think I did it once or twice to him, but you know, I think I covered those up as well. Now I have to ask, why are you even bothering to engage with this individual? You can easily just sit there and not talk to him, or just refuse to call out anything he says, or continue to engage with him, just ignore him. You know what, we're gonna leave the video here. I think you've had more than enough of Reforge Salt. I think it's good enough, and I think you just understand what he's like in this exact moment. So you know what, we're done here. I'll see you all in the next video. Help me reach 2,000 subs, I start streaming, and I can't wait to do it. I'll see you all in the next video, take care.